My name is Diana Bursan, and I work as a principal software engineer for Medic. Today, we're going to talk about some subjects. First of all, we're going to go over some CHT Core version 4.18 release updates. We have released a bunch of very interesting and amazing features with this release, and we'll be going to cover the most interesting and important ones during this call. Afterwards, we're going to have some single sign-on squad updates. They are implementing a very cool feature that allows other login formulas for the CHT. And we will have a section about announcements and feedback at the end. And next slide. Okay, so the first thing that will be presented is about replicating primary contacts, and I am inviting Ken to walk us through some of these features.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ken Sapel. I'm an app developer at Medic, and today I'm just going to walk us through one of the new features in 4.18.0. And yeah, I live in Canada. I guess I should say that kind of thing. But so yeah, replicating primary contacts. So if anyone's not familiar with the concept of replication, maybe raise your hand or give me some sort of sound. But I'll do a quick review in which I just say that replication is when users download a set of documents to their device. And then, so in order to control what gets downloaded, we have a bunch of different replication settings. And replication settings are, of course, very important for privacy and managing who can see the right things, as well as managing client-side performance or the performance of the phones. And so if there's too many documents, then phones slow down and the experience starts to get sluggish. So just to review existing settings that we have for replication, we have replication depths, of which there are two types. We have sensitive documents, or something which controls whether or not a document should be hidden from its supervisor or people above it in the hierarchy. We have purging, which is a JavaScript-enabled custom code solution on what should be sent to different devices. We have a needs sign-off workflow, which forces things to be replicated even when they're hidden by a depth. And now we have a new feature called replicating primary contacts. And we're going to talk about that in more depth now. So hopefully that gives you a little more context in how this fits into the broader CHT landscape. Anthony, can we go to the next slide? So this is a use case talking about a scenario I was involved in which replicating primary contacts allowed us to solve balance some of the challenges that we were seeing. So the problem we were having initially was that our supervisors in Kenya could not log into the app because performance was too bad. There was just too many documents on their phones. And so we reduced their replication depth from 2 to 1. And this fixed the performance problems, but it caused a few new problems, which was that vital information needed for the supervisor workflows was no longer available. So one thing was that the supervisor targets were broken. They needed to access documents that were on the CHP or related to the CHP primary contact. The supervisors could no longer edit or view the name or edit the name or phone number and other vital information for CHPs. This is also stored on the primary contact. And some of the supervisor workflows broke, mostly muting and death reporting. And that was also related to just like data on this primary contact. So next slide, please. Just to review here, we moved from viewing all the information in the purple to viewing all the information in red. And that reduced what was on the phone, saved performance, but also caused some problem because what we want to do is view the CHW primary contact, but not the households and not the CHW area reports. If you click once, Anthony. Whoa, cheesy animations bring you replication depth 1 with primary contacts enabled, which allow us to see exactly what we need for these features to work. So I believe I'll now just do a quick demo. Can someone confirm that they can see my screen? Great. Here is just a random community health unit with some random data. And you can see that the supervisor area, the community unit, you can see the primary contact. This is where primary contacts are. But when I go one level down to the community health area, or where the CHP works, there is no community health, there's no community health promoter. And so information and data linked to that contact is also not available to the supervisor. So for example, if I were to go to the performance tab and I would click on target aggregates, then there would be nothing here, and that would be sad and broken. And so I can, whoa, is this broken? Anyway, I'm just going to assume that's only happening for me. Here we are in the replication depth section of the base settings file for this configuration. We have the supervisor's role, called them community health assistant. As mentioned, their depth is 1, and I'm just going to set to replicate primary contacts from false to true. I'm then going to run the CHT conf command to upload the app settings. And now that that's complete, I'm going to sync. It tells me that I should reload. And look at that. I can now see data and information about the CHP and the data and their performance. So here we are. The primary contact is now here. And I can also view it and edit it, like changing their phone number and their name. And so that's a little bit about this new exciting feature in 4.18 and a sample use case for why it might be important. Back to you, Deanna.
I have a couple of questions. Question number 1 is, does this allow all actions on the primary contact or just some? Like, can the supervisor edit this contact, change its parent, delete it? Are all actions allowed on the primary contact or just some?
My understanding is that the actions available to the supervisor are controlled by the permissions granted to that role. And so if they have the ability to delete a contact, then they would be able to delete the primary contact.
Cool. Another question that I have is, in your demo, you proved how you changed your settings from replicating primary contacts to false to replicating primary contacts to true, and suddenly your CHW supervisor would download all of these documents through replication. What would happen if you switched it back? Is that something that's also supported?
If you switch it back, the contact stays and lingers, but no longer refreshes. And so it doesn't clear from the view. So anytime that you move the setting from a true setting to a false setting, you might get either inconsistencies in the CHW, in the supervisor's experience, or you might recommend for them all to clear their device and resync.
Cool. Thank you very much. So we have talked about right to left language support in a previous roundup call. Back then, it was still in development phases and we hadn't tested it. It was just us trying it out and trying to figure out how this RTL works, because nobody in Medic had any experience with right to left language orientation. But now with 4.18, this has been rigorously tested and shipped, and we're very excited about it. This was, I was about to say commission. This was made in partnership with ICRC, which unfortunately could not be with us today to share a user story. They are probably going to share this user story in a future session. But they have an implementation of the CHT in Libya that required Arabic and right-to-left language support for clinical decision support in pediatrics, because it was a super cool implementation. And they also helped, they supported us by facilitating, by providing translation for Arabic, and also by facilitating user testing for this feature. We had someone who is native in Arabic who helped us test this feature. So right now I am going to share my screen and just walk you around this thing. Okay, can somebody please confirm that you can see my screen? Yes, thank you, Anthony. Okay, so here we are seeing contact. I have chosen this contact because they have the most information. We are not seeing it in Arabic. I will show Arabic for a second, but I find it extremely hard to navigate the app in Arabic. So this is how Arabic looks. As you can see, there are some fields that are not translated. So testing the as I said, testing the UI and the Arabic translation was facilitated by somebody who is native in Arabic. But we had some challenges. The biggest challenge was the Arabic language not having translations for all fields, for all forms in the default config. It had the translations for generic fields in the application, but didn't have translations specifically for this configuration. So there's a lot. So for example, you see here pregnancy home visit. Well, that's a form name that obviously is not translated. However, I believe this is tasks, and I believe these are reports. These are translated to Arabic and so on. So I'm gonna just click through this interface in Arabic for a little bit until I switch back to English. This one. So I have two English languages here. What you're seeing side by side is the same deployment, but they're in different browser sessions, and one has English, the one on the left, and the one on the right, it has English RTL, which is another language that I created that has a flag that says that it should display the UI in RTL, in right to left format. Another, like the real challenge with displaying the website in right to left, most of it was straightforward, but the biggest challenge was phone numbers. Apparently, phone numbers, even when you display a website in right to left, they have to be displayed left to right. So if you can see here, things are mirrored, but phone numbers are not. Phone numbers are still entered in the same sequence, which is strange. And this is the same, this also applies to forms. So if we go to people and you say new person, and I will type my name here, and I'm 122. So here, if I type in my phone number, you can see that it's starting to be, actually, this is kind of broken. Okay, now it worked. So the phone number is entered in right to left format, not in left to right. Correct. But my years are in reverse order. This was very confusing, especially, let's see how this looks in Arabic. Where are the people? Yeah. So this was especially confusing because we have search fields that when you enter data is going to enter the characters in reverse order, but for phone numbers, it should still enter the characters in normal order. But we decided for search fields, we decided not to make any changes and let them be proper left to right instead of right to left. So this is a caveat. I suppose that this is the case for most websites that support Arabic and right to left languages, and this is something that we've concluded to be like the best way to go to it with our tester. So this is how the two interfaces look side by side. Everything is mirrored, hopefully, with most of the fields translated. If I task as well, everything should be done in reverse. Okay. There we go. I see that this is really cool. So calendars as well. Calendars are displayed in reverse order, as you can see. This is April. No, we can check. We can check if this is April. But here, for example, you can see that this field is not translated. This is part of the form, and this would require form changes to add the Arabic language values for all of the text in the form. It was part of the testing was really fun to see somebody who had never been had never interacted with the CHT before, just go over every aspect of the application, because they needed to effectively end-to-end test every page, including like the most remote report verification in mobile features, which don't necessarily get used every day in production. And it was really fun to see someone interact with the application for the first time and actually give no feedback about getting confused or lost. This was a very pleasant surprise. And this is it. Please let me know if you have any questions about Arabic translations or generally about right to left languages. Otherwise, Anthony, can you please return to the... Cool. Thank you. Next up, we'll have Sugat presenting the other CHT 4.18 features. If you would, Sugat.
Thanks, Diana. Hi, everyone. I'm Sugat from America, and I'll be presenting on the rest of the features that were released in 4.18. So starting us off, we have 4 new REST endpoints. The first one being API v1 contact slash the placeholder UUID, which is used for getting a contact by UUID. It returns the detail of the contact. The contact can either be a place or a person. And the second endpoint is API slash v1 slash contact slash UUID. In this case, the last part UUID is not a placeholder, and this endpoint is used to get a list of contact UUIDs, which has an option of getting those UUIDs by either contact type or by free text. And the third endpoint that was added is slash API slash v1 slash report slash UUID placeholder. It returns a report by source by UUID. And similar to contact, it returns the detail of the report that was found. And the fourth endpoint is slash API slash v1 slash report slash UUID. This is to get a list of report UUIDs which are found by the past free text. And the other feature that was shipped is addition of user agent header to the outbound response by our API. This feature adds the operating system and the platform in which the REST API is being hosted to the requester. Whereas the other major feature that was shipped is our Angular version has been shipped to version 19. This contains a lot of functionalities. The major one that I can point out is the introduction of standalone components. So you don't have to declare components as a part of modules right now. So those are the features that got released in 4.18. And I'll be doing a short demo on the REST endpoints. Let me share my screen. Okay. This is weird. So I've opened Postman with I'm running a development instance in Docker. So I have a few ready endpoints with data. So the first one, as per the list, is the API v1 contact. So if you provide a UUID like this in the endpoint, you'll get data like this. So this as an additional feature of getting the lineage of that contact as well, like with the lineage params set to true. So additionally, you get all these information along with the details of the contact. I've done this for the person type, whereas this is applicable to the place type as well. And the next endpoint we have added is the API v1 contact UUID. For this one, you can fetch either by these parents, type or prefix. Let's try it by type first. It needs a valid contact type here. Like I've added a person here, which is a valid contact type for myself. If I let's do an invalid type first. So if I do this, it throws an errors. But if I provide a valid contact type, I get a list of UIDs. It's very long, so I'm going to scroll to the end. It also provides a cursor that can be used for pagination. For example, in terms of pagination, I could only retrieve what I need. Like, for example, if I only need 10 UIDs, I could do this. And I get only the number of UIDs that I need. So in that case, a cursor for the next page is provided. Now I can use this cursor to get the next page. Like so 10 is passed here, so I put 10, then I get the next page. Similarly, I can search the contact UIDs by free text. This is just a random contact I have in my deployment. So it provides me with all the contacts that match. So similarly, pagination can be applied here as well. Moving on to the next endpoint, everything similar can be done to the report as well. Like this is a UID of a report that I have. It provides me with all the details of the report in session. And similarly, to get the list of report IDs, I can use the API/v1 report UID endpoint. Here, this is a name. This is the name of a random person I have in my deployment. Suppose if I search by this, I get a list of all the UIDs that match. I can apply pagination here as well. So if I do this, I get only those that was specified. And similarly, I can use the cursor to navigate to the next page. So that's it for the demo. Does anyone have any questions regarding this new endpoints?
Yeah, Sugat, that's related to the user agent header. I've seen Cliff is here, and I think they required this feature for their specific SMS deployment. I'm not sure if they have managed to test or not. Cliff, would you like just to share any feedback in regards to that?
Yes, hello everyone. So yeah, this was a question raised for us. I think it was a new requirement from the texting team, and we encountered this issue, and just thankful to the community that we tested it out, and it's working for us perfectly fine now. Yeah, thank you so much.
Right, thanks. Back to you, Sugat.
Any more questions or feedback regarding all these features? Cool. Back to you, Diana.
Hello back. Thanks, Sugat, for the presentation. So there is a question from Ben. He says, I have one question. When you did the free text search with the name of the contact, how come we get more than one content back? I would expect one result.
It's actually matching all the contacts that have the same text or the name. Suppose if I search Ben, it returns all the contacts, all the places and the people that have the prefix of Ben, like it could be Benjamin Hospital and everything that comes with it. There's availability of exact match search as well, so you can do exact match search like you did with the couch views there. We're just leveraging that. There plans to be actually this is all part of our whole ecosystem of remote local support of JS library. I only presented the REST endpoints because the JS library presentation kind of might be a bit difficult here. But under the hood, this endpoint is calling the JS library, which then calls the CouchDB endpoints. So yeah, there's the JS. Actually, it's the TS TypeScript library available in the shared libs called CHT data source. Any more questions?
Thank you so much for the presentation, Scott. I'm very excited about the CHT data source library eventually becoming a way of interacting with the CHT in like a programmatic way.
That is the plan.
It's the plan. Yeah. Thank you so much, Scott. I believe that next up, Anthony is going to talk to us about the Q1 community survey.
Right. Thanks, Diana. Hi, everyone. As you always know me, I haven't changed my name. I'm Anthony, Community Manager at Medic. For the past couple of months, as a community, we have been working together to create an inclusive space where we gather needs from the community, and the reason for that is to give powers to the community and to empower the community and our partners to be able to determine how CHT evolves and the direction CHT takes. And in regards to that, we have been having deeper engagement and working together as a community to build features and improvements. And that's why from the previous presentation, we have heard about the squads where we are working together as different community members to build features. So today I'm excited to share that we would like to hear your feedback on any of the gaps in our community first approach. And we are sure that the feedback that you share would be able to help us refine the process and make sure that we improve the process and make the community more inclusive. Andra has just shared the survey here. And since as a community and moving together, I would like to request that we take 2 minutes just to fill this survey. So please open it up and fill it because as a community, we move swiftly in the spirit of the community first approach. So let's just fill it, share feedback so that in our next session, we'll be working on that feedback. So let's take a minute or two just to fill the survey. So I'll start counting now. So we have 1 minute remaining. Yeah, thanks, Brian, for sharing that. If you have filled it before, you don't need to fill again. Yeah, thanks for sharing that question. And thanks for filling it prior to this roundup. We appreciate that. So we have 15 seconds. Yeah, so that we don't take a lot of time, I would allow you just to continue filling it and make sure you submit after you are done filling the survey. So handing this back to Diana.
Thank you, Anthony. Can you please go to the next slide? Okay, cool. Next up, Phil is going to talk us through the next CHT calendar events. Phil?
Thanks, Diana. Yeah, as I'm not famous yet, I'll just introduce myself in full. So I'm Philip Mwago. I am a community engagement coordinator here at Medic, working with Anthony in the community team. So we're excited to announce that we have a couple of events for this month. So the first one actually happened a couple of days ago. That's the CHT meetup. We've shared the notes on the forum. We'll also be having the next community meetup on April 2nd. That's at 4 p.m. GMT. We also have the CHT Devour that will be on April 24th. That's 2 days later after the community meetup. And also, if you'd like to know about the other events that happen, such as the squads that we have that are actually active, for example, the SSO squad that Rafa just presented on, you can just subscribe to our calendar. So I'll just share the link to that in chat. So it is. Yeah, so with that calendar, you can see everything that we have planned out. So we'll share the recording and the notes, and that's it from me. Back to you, Diana.
Thank you, Phil. I'm also sharing the link to the Devour introduction. The Devour is the most exciting new thing that we have on the block. I invite everybody to come and chit chat with us about technical things. I believe this is the end of our call. Recording and notes will be shared on the CHT forum as always. If you have any more questions, we have 1 minute to go. I believe Anthony has our countdown. And please continue to submit the Q1 community survey. And thank you everyone for joining. And see you in our next meetup. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Ciao. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Right. Bye.
Right. Thanks, Diana, for the great work.
It was.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Thanks.